Welcome to another episode of Fire Your Boss Fridays, and you can do what you will with that, folks. Got Lisa here and a good friend of mine, Jeff. Jeff is going to be our guest today. There's a couple reasons we wanted to have Jeff here today. First of all, he's a complete badass. But second of all, him and I do an accountability group as well that we've already touched on a few really cool topics. And he recently has spawned into a new space in his life, and he's kind of pivoting and venturing into a new space of entrepreneurship, even though he has been self-employed for a good portion of his life. So I want to dig into that. I think there'll be some great topics in there that we're going to explore. We have a few picked out that we're going to hit on, and then wherever Jeff takes us above and beyond that. Lisa, did you have anything to add to the? No? All right. Well, we'll just get going then. Started. So, Jeff, you're from Las Vegas, right? And
Yes.
then what do you do here full time? If you could just share with us.
Full-time realtor.
Right?
Okay.
And how long have you been doing that?
20 years.
Nice.
Now, I'm originally from San Jose, California. I moved out here when I was 20 to go to hotel school at UNLV.
Hotel?
I was going to run these big hotels.
So you were going to be running these places?
Yeah, I was going to run these big
well,
places.
I'm glad that didn't work out.
Yeah, and
That's a weird dream to have, don't
well,
you think?
I worked in the service industry my whole young life.
Okay.
And then I thought, well, where can I go to hotel school at?
Next level. So
next
to you,
level.
this was next level.
Right.
Okay.
So there's Cornell in New York, which is crazy because
Yeah.
your parents usually own a hotel when they send their kids there, or you go to UNLV. where
Okay.
it's cost effective, right?
And
Yes.
that kind of set the tone for you here then,
Set the
right?
tone. I love the service hospitality industry, which is
Yeah.
why I gravitated towards real estate. I love taking care of people. I'm a people person.
Oh, you are a people
And-
person for
and
sure.
I've had bosses,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with bosses as well. However, there's that entrepreneurial spirit that creeps up
Yeah.
and says, hey, you don't have to work for somebody your whole life if you don't want to.
Right.
That's kind of why I left. The
Well,
hotel
so when
business.
you were doing that though, I remember you telling me you were a bartender. You were pretty good. You were making good money at bartending.
Yes,
This wasn't
yes.
like a dive bar kind of situation,
No,
right?
in fact, one of my best gigs was the Voodoo Lounge on top of the Rio
Yeah.
on the patio.
Yeah.
It was like $500 cash every day.
Yeah.
17, 18 bucks an hour.
That's
union
good.
thing.
And what year was
Nice.
this?
This before
Don't date yourself.
2000. Yeah, I'm 57. But yeah. This is back when I was in my late
Okay.
20s. Yeah,
Good for you, man.
30s.
That's some dough.
and the beach nightclub, which if anyone knows the beach nightclub, that was a fun
That's
time.
heavy. Okay, so you were a troublemaker. I get that.
Troublemaker.
Yeah.
If it's fun, let's do it.
All right.
But the bartending is fun. However, it's kind of like a drug addict lifestyle.
Yeah.
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 Meaning
Late nights and
late
oh,
night,
yeah.
and it's fun, and you're drinking. And this is before
The
cameras.
type of crowd that's there
Yeah.
The
late at night,
crowd,
right?
the
Like kind of just
entertainment, the
nothing good happens after midnight. Am I
After
right,
work,
Jeff?
Nothing good happens after 10 o'clock.
Oh
Well,
shit.
Get
for
in
me
bed.
nowadays, it's more like 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get in bed by 9:30.
Yeah.
Get up early. Sunlight. So I had a great time bartending. However, I knew I didn't want to do this forever because I was a flair bartender.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So when you have to juggle bottles,
Well, we
should have
hold
prepared-
on,
yeah,
hold
we
the
should have done a
presses. We screwed this
demonstration.
up. You're coming back.
All right.
Yeah, you're coming back. All
I'll
right.
come back with some of the best flair guys in the world.
Yeah?
Ken Hall, these guys. And so it was fun. However, when you juggle bottles,
Yeah.
they break.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah. And
Okay.
every pro has had glass picked out of their eye by a doctor.
Oh wow.
And they said, hey, you know what? You should come practice with us at the park over there by, before and after work. I'm like, I'm 30 years old.
Uh-huh.
I
Oh,
got
these are the guys you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
I-
want you to come down and hang out with
I
them.
got
right?
a wife and 2 kids.
You're like, I like my eyeballs, right?
I don't want to do this very much longer, right?
Yeah.
What am I going to move into, right?
Yeah.
And so I got into personal finance and I got into real estate.
Okay. About what time? This was pre-crash.
This is 2003,
Oh, okay.
2004.
Okay.
Oh, the before the crash was awesome. in
Wasn't
real
it a
estate.
cool wave? I was on it too, the real
I was
estate
making
wave.
$300,000 a year, and not even really trying hard. Okay. And
It was
then the
just coming
crash
in.
came, and then now it's like I said, kind of like what we're looking at today. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think the crash that we're about to experience is going to be as long and drawn out as like what we had in 2000.
Sure. It was different.
It is built
just
on mortgage
different.
fraud. It's different. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, however, be prepared.
However,
For a little
times like
change.
for times like
Yes.
this, because
Yeah.
we have cryptocurrencies and new things happening.
Stuff's
and
going on. Yeah,
stuff's
yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
There's opportunity all the time,
Amen.
and so start looking at that opportunity. Like I said earlier, people start businesses during difficult times.
Yeah.
And so we're about to have that time.
We are. And
So always have your plan B.
Always have your plan B, your spare tire career, your side hustle, whatever you
Right.
want to call it these days. Always have another option to pivot, right?
would you say this is a good inner dialogue when you have a great idea? Now, I do this now. I didn't used to do this when I was younger.
Yeah.
If you're planning something big, like I'm gonna quit my job, I'm gonna start this business, ask yourself, what if this doesn't work out?
You could do that.
Now, the only reason for that
A lot of people
is
do that. A lot of people do that, and they freeze in fear.
that could happen. But for me, I'm in a position now, like if this doesn't work out, am I going to be, it makes me feel safe to go for it. So so it could work both ways. So thanks
Yeah.
for bringing that up. But
Yeah.
for me, at this point in my life, I know if I go, what if this doesn't work? I'll think, well, that's the worst case scenario. Let's go for it.
Let's go for
You
it.
know, like, so for me, it works.
Okay, now let's talk about power and freedom.
Okay. So, all
Okay.
right. So let's back up a minute before we
All
get in the
right, we'll
weeds,
talk about power and
Jeffrey.
freedom. No,
Jeffrey
'cause
loves
this
this
ties-
space. This is what Jeff has
This
been
ties
on
in
lately.
really well with what we're talking about now.
Yeah, so
having the ability to take a risk.
Right. So
on
we're,
a
but
business.
let's make sure we end your backstory properly. So you're currently
personal
real estate
finance and
agent,
real
personal
estate,
finance.
and then I got into investing 5 years ago,
Right.
and I love the investing part. You got your wholesaling, you've got your flipping, you've got your buy and hold.
So
Right.
investing in real estate specific, not like stocks or something.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what-
Right,
So
just
well,
real estate.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey and I actually met at a network meeting,
a
real
network.
estate. That was where we built our
That's right, that's
relationship.
right.
We hit it off because him and I are kind of like visionaries to the end of the earth, basically.
Yeah.
And him and I worked on this idea for a while. It didn't take off. It wasn't good timing for us at the time.
Yeah.
And then we rekindled that relationship shortly after. But we did
It's
meet.
still a great idea.
It still is, and we won't share it on
We're not gonna
camera
share
here,
that with
but
you. It's still
we'll
a
keep
great
that on the
idea.
DL for now. And it might happen
Yeah.
later, but at this point now, you're at a position in your life where you've decided to pivot from because you've been doing this for a while, real
So
estate.
is this like plan
Yeah.
B, or do you have a plan B?
This is like second half.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
second, I like that term.
I'm
That's cool.
57. This is second half. Plan B is when you have a plan A and it doesn't work out. You got to switch to plan B.
Right. Okay. But you're
second
in.
half is looking at my life, working. What fills my soul?
Yeah.
So I'm not on my deathbed at 100 plus, putting that out to the universe,
Yes.
where I look back on my life, okay, and I go, you know what? Did I do all the right things? Did I maximize my life? Did I
Yeah.
matter?
No regrets, right?
I don't need to be famous, but like, did I do?
Let's say
Yeah.
you're still a
Meaningful
bartender
stuff.
for the sake of this argument.
Okay, here, go ahead. I'm about to bash bartending. Go ahead.
But so let's just for the sake of it,
Okay.
you're making killer money.
Killer money.
You got all the
Yep.
fun around you could ever want,
Yep.
right? According to some people's belief system.
Right.
But the fulfillment,
The fulfillment.
right?
And Tony
and
Robbins
that's-
talks about that a lot right now.
Yeah,
Fulfillment.
he says how does
Success
it
and fulfillment.
go? Success. The ultimate failure is success without fulfillment. I
Right.
think is how it's phrased. It might be wrong. We could quote that later, but
Yeah.
but that says a lot. There is a time in everyone's life where like first it's money and success and fame, but then
Yeah.
pretty soon you're like, I'm not. There's no real reward here.
Did I make a difference?
Did I make a
Doesn't
difference?
fill
Right.
my soul up. Doesn't make me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can sell another house, but selling another house doesn't just complete me.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
And
I
so-
feel that way about flips now.
I'm
I
like-
could have done the same
Yeah.
with real estate. I could just skate through life flipping houses, but if I never see another kitchen remodel again, Jeff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that
2004.
goes for illegal things too. I'm not in the mafia or drug dealer.
Are you sure
or
about
criminal
that? All right.
because that doesn't fill my soul.
It
either,
doesn't
right?
either. Okay, so now we're on to the fulfillment. Now, this is what
Yeah.
you've been eager to talk about. And this is a big reason why we thought you'd be a good guest today.
cool.
So this is kind of the feeling people get. Tell me if I'm wrong, that you feel based on your current position, you want to switch. But everything that you have done historically has been in the efforts of some other goal. Right? So everything you bought, like furniture, cars, clothing, toys, all for some other goal. Now we're moving to a new goal in life.
Yeah.
All of those things now don't actually line up with the new goal. So you feel stuck because you're attached to, like, say you bought a big truck and
Yeah.
a camper and you're going to do all this camping, and then all of a sudden there's a new goal. Now that truck and camper is a liability. It's not going towards your new space. So what I want to tap into mostly is that for all of our listeners is whenever you make a pivot in your life, remember, you don't have to keep all your old stuff. It's actually going to hold you back. And that's, I think, where this starts for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel held back, stuck, or trapped with the things you have physically? And then how does that affect, if you could answer the two-part question, how does that affect you emotionally and mentally as well?
Well, now that I've had an epiphany in my life recently, not even recently, it's been a while, okay? When you have, can I just talk about power and freedom real
Lay
quick?
it on me, Jeffrey.
There's two major areas to live your life. One, you can live with power. I got to get all this stuff, the big house, the cars, the material things, okay, and say, look at me. And then the other part is living a life of freedom, where I don't have anything. Maybe not even any money in the bank account. But it's nice to have money in the bank account with nothing to hold you down.
Right.
Then you have the freedom to take a risk and don't care if you fail.
Right. Makes you
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
It makes you fearless. Makes you what we believe is a fearless entrepreneur with
Fearless entrepreneur.
and the most dangerous.
Versus the
You're the
power
most
guy.
What's the most dangerous guy on the planet? The guy has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But the power guy who's got all this stuff to protect and pay for and
Oh.
lock up and maintain.
Don't get stolen from. You're stealing from me.
Stealing from it.
Yeah, stealing
what
from
does
the
that do to your soul and your spirit and your psyche, right?
Yeah.
However, they got all this stuff and they can't take a risk because they'll lose their
Right.
stuff. And so the second half of my
it
life
makes
is I'm
you
gonna tell
less risky.
I'm going to tell you that story
risky.
of my neighbor who was like 75 years old. This was back when I was 12. And he gave me this shiny gold boat trophy that he had won racing boats. And he had his garage filled with stuff, but it was all organized.
Some nostalgia and.
But he gave me this trophy because I liked it and it had a cool boat on it. And I thought, and then he looked at me and he says, you know, it's funny. You spend the first half of your life trying to get everything, and then you spend the second half trying to get rid of it all.
This is this
true.
older garage,
right.
probably drinking beers and living his life up, but has his old car in there.
Yeah.
His whole life is behind him, and he's looking at this 12-year-old kid going, kid,
Yeah.
you have no idea what you're about to embark
No
on,
idea.
right?
Yeah, right.
And in this moment, in your epiphany moment, this guy pops back in your head.
Yeah. Because I realized, how many people do you see that get older that actually die with all this stuff
Yeah.
in storage units and in houses, and the kids fight over it and all this kind of things
Right.
happen?
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing your kids a disservice
Major
too
disservice.
100%.
by not freeing yourself.
You're going to
and
leave
freeing
us
them
so
of
much
the
stuff that now.
Well, that's his parents. I'm like,
That
they
happened?
need to.
Yeah.
Well, that hasn't happened yet, but they've got so much stuff.
Yeah,
that
it's going to be
like-
hard to kind of, hammer through that stuff. But here's
Yeah.
the thing. Most people who, let's say, get to their older years and die like that, spent their whole lives wishing they had more time and money to do the things they love to do.
No doubt.
Can
that'd be a great survey, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be a great survey.
Like you have all these things, right? And then but the idea is like that stuff is not serving. Ask yourself, is that serving my real dream
Right.
to play the guitar? Like whatever the thing is, you have to ask, is that thing or those things or anything that's going on in my life that's consuming time, energy? Listen, the more laundry you have, the more clothes you have to wash and fold. And don't even tell me you love washing, folding laundry.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you love doing the dishes. I don't care. The less thing we've got to a point in our lives where we literally have a 4-piece set of everything. And that's it. If we have guests, paper plates.
Paper plates.
It's on.
Yeah.
That's it. And guests can come to expect it. But anyway, the point is, this is the first year we've had real furniture that we owned. Like we bought it, beginning of last year maybe, when we got this place.
Yeah, well, the end of 2020.
But for years, we lived in a scenario where we could literally just put our suitcase together and leave.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
And it didn't cost us any more and we thought, why don't people always live like this?
Yeah.
Somebody could move into this house right now like this, but we'll save that stuff for later. I want to keep the highlight on you, Jeffrey. So in this epiphany now, you're making real moves towards this goal, though. Tell me about that.
Yeah, because when you do get rid of your stuff, as terrible as it may feel, it really is liberating and it lightens your load.
So
like
much
you can
so.
feel yourself being lighter, right? I've always had animals, dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I have one still. However, he's an older dog, but when this dog goes, we're not going to replace it.
That is a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Anyone who says, "Oh, I can't wait to travel," so you're not going to do it with them animals.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
So-
No one will let go of their dog.
So
That
it's
is not
like,
happening.
It's like plants, responsibility, all that kind of stuff. Lighten your load so you can do other things that you
and
truly
serve
want to
your
do.
community. Right?
Yes.
How can you serve your community when all you're doing is taking care of your stuff? And that could mean just having a job enough to maintain your payment level and live a certain status life, right? Like that's a lot of work too.
Yeah. And then it gets worse. Remember we talked
It's
about
worse. Let's calm down, buddy.
we talked about how you have a storage unit filled with
yeah.
$1,000 worth of stuff,
So
but you're
do you have
spending
a storage
200.
unit?
No.
Okay.
But you're spending $200 a month to store it.
To
Right.
store stuff.
Yeah.
To store stuff.
And I don't have enough money
After
for my
1 year, it's
dream.
$1,200.
Oh, I can't afford to build that website. I can't afford to.
Yes.
No,
Right.
really?
And then
You
say
can't?
no
I
to your
wonder
dreams.
why.
I know. So
This is self-sabotage, this stuff. Yeah.
Self-sabotage.
But you have a garage full of stuff. I
At
hear.
this point.
this is where I admit that, I have a garage full of stuff, a 2.5 car garage.
The garage of shame, we could call
garage
that,
of
right?
shame with a bunch of stuff. I've got a trailer with my tools on it for home flipping and you know, that kind of thing. And so, and as a realtor, I love to assist wherever I can in a low risk way,
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's people who literally don't know what a screwdriver is.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're that down,
Yeah.
I've got a
if
screwdriver.
we can't get you a handyman to come over and do that stuff, yeah, I can help.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
I think that's actually a good trait in an agent. You know, not to just say, "Oh, well, it's not for me." No,
Yeah.
I'll fix a few things around here. No big
Sure.
deal.
I've
It's
patched
your
holes before.
listing.
Yeah, I've changed
Remember, and a lot of people don't get this is you're representing that person. Like the way I look at
Oh,
it,
that's why I do it.
agents
Yeah.
are
You
like
want me
a
to list
lawyer
your
in
house and
court.
it's terrible condition. I got to get this to a better level.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
your.
I don't
that's-
have any money for that. Well, okay, well, then I'll just come over and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm already going to come over here anyway for an open house and measure and that kind of stuff. So, okay, I'll take care of those little items. Right.
Right.
Putting in light bulbs. You know, just simple, stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, call Jeffrey.
Call me.
And we're not technically here for that, but Jeff is a fantastic agent. I've worked with him for some time now here, but
The real issue is letting go of my stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
this
So
is a
where-
big move. So where are you in
Minimalizing
that
my
Yeah.
journey?
Yeah. That's what I was just gonna ask.
Minimalizing my stuff. And this is something I've always loved about the Japanese culture.
Mm-hmm.
They have such beautiful minimalistic lifestyle, you know?
Yes.
And I think we have a lot to learn by doing that because this whole mansionization of America, where you have to have the
Mansionization.
big house and
Right.
all the stuff,
All the
you know,
cars, all the
depends
toys.
depends what decade you lived through. Like I've
Right.
been through the '80s,
Mm-hmm.
where it was really greedy, BMWs,
Right.
you know,
Right.
you know, like just you name it, everybody wanted it, right? Wolf of Wall Street,
Mm-hmm.
and so we've kind of lightened up off that. The grunge years came, and all we wanted was a flannel shirt and some coffee.
Yeah, we started setting a little
Yeah.
bit different
A little
tone.
bit
But
different.
that was the anti-consumerism. Nirvana
Yes.
was specifically anti-record label, anti-music business. That's what made them famous.
Okay, well, that changed the culture too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't really care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Now look at the culture today. We just came from everyone owning a house to now no one going to be able to buy a house,
It's coming.
especially the
Yeah.
young people.
Young
Yeah.
people, and that's
Young
what
people
that's
don't
a
even
big
want to
reason.
buy a
Yeah.
car; they want to rent, or they take an Uber. They don't want to buy a house; they're going to rent an apartment or whatever. Also,
Right.
so it's like, wow, look at the culture now. And now the prices have gotten so high they can't afford to buy stuff.
It's
anyway.
happening.
And now
Listen.
the economy is going to hurt a little bit for a while, 6 months to a year at least. And now the higher interest rates prevents them from even thinking about buying a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's everyone going to do?
Well,
They're
what are
gonna rent.
you going to do, Jeff, for these people? Isn't that kind of part of the space that you want to move into?
this is
You
part of
want to
the second
be the
half.
support system and maybe instigate some real education for these young people and
Yes.
like set the
Financially,
tone.
credit repair, real estate, life coaching, basically.
Yeah.
A whole, in fact, I plan on moving into that space of being a whole life coach and helping people achieve their success.
Right.
You know, so
Using your historical
Yeah,
data, right,
my-
and everything that you've done in your space,
Right.
and adding this new element, what we would call like the launch pad. If I'm operating from a minimalist standpoint, you can get there so much faster. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Like, do you get that feeling too, or am I way off base when I say
no,
that?
totally. It's if you've ever watched like the hoarding shows,
Yeah.
people have a hard time letting go of stuff.
Oh
It
my
is.
gosh,
If they don't
Yeah.
have the right mindset to let go,
Yeah.
Really.
It's a tough
Yeah.
gig, right?
You're
So
gonna
that might
drag
be
that
that's
person and all their stuff up a hill.
that's an inner battle for sure.
And still
How do
get
you think
yelled
you're gonna pan out on that? How you
Me
gonna?
personally,
Yeah.
I've already had the proper mindset to let it go.
You sure?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been happening.
Well,
So-
there's this. This happened to us actually too when we started minimizing the first time.
Yeah.
Was somebody had approached us and was it in the army or something?
Yeah, a military guy said, he told us, he says, when someone,
are you okay?
Are you okay? Do you need help? Note to self, okay? Becoming a minimalist for practical reasons like launching a business, starting over, giving yourself the platforms for success and to be dangerous and fearless is different than you see in the military where they actually, if you start giving valuable things
That's a warning
away,
sign?
it's a
Yes.
warning sign because you might be on your way out. I always wanted you to have this autographed football.
Yeah.
And
There's
you're
a lot
like,
of
oh,
PTSD,
that's a
suicide
red
stuff.
flag
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
So we got questioned
Yeah.
that, like, are you guys sure you're okay?
Okay.
My dad actually thought we were running from the law. Because we started right after
Yeah.
we did all this, we could go anywhere we
Yeah,
wanted. So we
moved
went
out of
to
the country
Thailand
and-
and Mexico.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
dad's like, son, is there anything you need to share with me?
That's a good point. I'm a happy guy. I've always been happy. That's not my case, but
Right.
I can see where that could be an issue.
Right, could be,
Yeah.
it'd be so. But what happened was we started. Why that was instigated?
It's good to check in.
It
Yeah,
is good.
yeah.
So we can take this moment to check in with our veterans, but not just veterans. Everyone, if you see signs, get involved.
And I'm going to be that guy to help.
Yeah.
Down the road,
Well, hopefully.
my number, my website, my whatever I create is going to be available for people. If you've got issues, go ahead and call me. I'll answer the phone.
No,
I'll
Jeffrey's a
help
great
you.
guy
Yeah.
for that. Yeah. So.
Because that's part of my give back. That's how I want to shift and make that.
Well, I love that. Can we just make a quick note here that this whole episode entirely is on minimalism and that stuff is not important. So for whatever reason, you don't think you're enough because you haven't made it so far in life. You don't have the car, the house, the things that everyone else has. Take it from us.
Yeah.
That none of that actually matters in the long run. So if you can get past all of the new trucks and the things and the money and stuff, you're going to come to a place in your life where we're making an entire episode on this topic should say a lot that maybe the reason that you're being feeling like that you're not enough or that you're a failure in some way might in some way just be a social belief that is easily broken down by just a few years of maturity. And not that you're not mature, but certainly we've already come to this conclusion. Had we been feeling the same way then and then know that this was going to be where we'd be now,
Yeah.
like just trying to get rid of the stuff we worked so hard for,
Right.
right? Let me just finish this. It isn't about not ever owning anything what it's about is I have a clean space. I have a comfortable space without clutter, a clean mind, a clean soul, a clean environment, clean relationships. You're cleaning up your space. You're not I don't have like 3 outfits. I mean, we have furniture, we have things. We just don't have excess of anything. If it's excess, it's too much.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't line up, the following rule is if it doesn't line up with your goal, it's useless completely. Because if you want that goal, what good is the thing? We call them liabilities and assets. Okay? If you feel like it's not serving the direction you're going or your family or your community, it's got to go. It's a liability. The minute you sell or get rid of a liability, it has essentially become an asset because it's either freed up time or money from your space. Anyway, that's my conclusion on that one, brother.
Okay.
But
yeah, lightening the load, minimalizing is such a great and powerful, it's part of the freedom.
right.
It's a powerful mindset to have because you're saying I'm not going to be a prisoner to this stuff anymore.
Prisoner, what a
Yeah.
big word, man.
Yeah.
Do you think people could feel that way? I mean,
I've seen it. You've
Yeah.
seen the hoarding shows too,
Yeah.
where people
They are
literally
prisoners.
Oh,
of
completely.
everything.
well,
they
aren't
own.
you prisoner to a home loan or a car loan?
That
like as soon as you
too.
sign
Oh,
that,
yeah, that too.
That's a
Yeah.
prisoner. That's a prison
Yeah.
sentence. Now you're
Yeah.
thinking because when you sign it for 5 years, like I literally can't lose my job for, you know what I mean? You right
Yeah.
away have this. Whoa! Like if I lose my job,
Think of
that's
the
a lot of
anxiety
stress.
and stress that produces on people versus if you
Amen.
don't have
But
anything to lose.
There's a way out of that too, though.
There is. So
which we can talk about.
yeah. Do you want to cue into that today or?
Well, not right now.
Okay, we'll save that for another
it's
episode.
fine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Which is entrepreneurship and the way that you can generate income through like maybe passive income or something. But
So one final question: when do you hope to have your life coaching?
That's happening as we speak. It's
Yeah.
in formulation now. I've been thinking about it for the last couple of years, I've taken the Tad James NLP training. I've gone to PSI seminars and did all their classes. I've been a bartender for years. I've done a lot of counseling and coaching,
Yes.
and pharmaceutical,
Right.
with the alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
That's funny.
And then the financial services and the real estate. And I thought,
Investing and yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? I'm doing it already,
Yeah.
helping people get into a house and making moves. I'm like, I might as well do the whole thing and do the whole life coach, not
So
just a
are
life
you
coach.
ready? Like if our viewers,
I am ready. If you want to
take
call me, and
someone on?
yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So-
So we'll drop your phone number and
Okay.
Yep.
they can give you a
And
call.
so, what would be one of your superpowers, Jeff? If someone wanted to really get going on their transformational life, what would that look like when they call you? What can they expect to?
My superpower is I'm going to hold you accountable, because that's the missing link. You can get all kinds of information online for free, but who's going to get you to be that little voice to get you to take action? It's kind of like when you want to work out and you
Sure.
meet somebody at the gym and you know they're
Personal trainer.
waiting there for you.
Yeah,
You got to go. So
Yeah.
that's my superpower.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great, dude.
Once we hook
Nice.
our wagons together,
So
we're
it's
hooked.
accountability, and then ultimately it's discipline in the end. It comes down to the person.
Habits, discipline.
The habit. So
Yeah.
you create the accountability, which creates the habit, which creates the discipline, which creates
which
success.
the action, which creates the success. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Cool.
Awesome.
Well, I think
It
we
was
have
great
to.
having you
Yeah, dude, it was
here
super
today.
duper fun.
This is really fun. Yeah, this is really fun. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Well, we'll have you back
We'll
again.
have
Okay,
Jeffrey
for
back
sure.
again. He's got tons going on. But dude, I'm so excited for your minimalist journey, and you're at the
Oh.
very, very beginning.
And my part 2, we're going to show before and after.
And we
Let's
have
do it.
I have a special club that I'm launching in the next few months. It's called the Minimalist Millionaire Club. And one of the specific milestones that we have in there, which is an accountability thing,
Yeah.
it's a milestone
Yeah.
set forth by the community that is where you feel like you're so lightweight and minimized that you're ready to launch your goals with no fear. And so when I'm having you back for that.
Okay.
And I think you're going to hit that mark.
And I think it's easier to become a millionaire by lightening your load
100%.
and moving forward versus hanging on all your stuff.
Yeah.
and
trying-
moving
and trying
forward,
to
right?
move
And
forward.
one up, right?
Yeah.
Because it's quicker to just quickly get rid of everything and start from there versus like build up past that for sure. Yeah.
Sometimes
It's
you got to
way
get down to get up.
I love it. Dude, thank you, Jeffrey Battaglia. And thanks for all the good questions, Lise. She's always fancying it up. So, all right. Remember, guys, don't just go and fire your boss until you watch a few episodes. All right. Take her easy.